Hello and welcome to Against All Odds, a program that is dedicated at showcasing survivor stories. My name is Rachel Munyeheli, and today we take a look at the journey of growing up in a certain environment and how it can shape your future. When it comes to our childhood, we don't realize how much it can shape our future and what it can do for us. As parents, sometimes we can just think, oh well, it's just a matter of fact of having children and see how they grow up. God takes care of everything. But do we ever really think about how our children's future is shaped from how they grow up? I'm not here to share the story. Edson Chivanga is. Please help me welcome Edson to the program. Edson, thank you so much for joining us. Definitely appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to join you in this program.
Great.
Yeah.
Now, Edson, let's start off with a little bit of your background and how you grew up. Just, mutudzo titakafamba sei muchikura.
Okay. Edson was born in 1977 and in the place called Kadoma. But nekufamba kwenguva vabereki vakamova vakaenda kunzvimbo inonzi Sanyati. I will just probably speak at my early childhood. I started my grade 1 in 1984 at a school called Ojele Primary School. But of course, during that time, it was a transition where my parents were probably employed, and then decided to move to go to the rural areas. The entire ikoko, I think, semwana anenge ari mudiki sometimes haugona kuti pane hardships, but it later turned out that now vabereki vakafunga kumove further to a place called Chireya, which is in Gokwe North. Vachiteera because that area inorimwa cotton donji. That was in 1987. Ikoko ndokwatakatanga kuona kuchinja kweupenyu. So yeah, zvekuti it was a new area, it was malaria infested. Life just changed, and ikoko every year kuti mwana wese anenge atoriko, it's known kuti unofanira kutorwara malaria, and malaria is a deadly disease as it is. Yeah, it was so difficult, and takabva tateverwa, I think mayezi waindi pakauya vananzara vanani, so it affected our life yakabva yachinja. Maakuramba nyokuti even kudya kuchakwani, everything changed. I remember then you would go kunoita maricho kuti kwanise kuwana chikafu, munombonoshandira vamwe pamwe mumbofudza mombe pamwe muita sei. Yeah, and then we struggled until I reached my grade 7. I think that was in 1990. That's when I wrote my grade 7. Vanhu vachangobva munyora 2 subjects. I think we were the first to write my 4 subjects. Ndikakwanisa kubuda ne-18 youth, I remember then. Zvaitori nani because what we had gone through, zvanga zvisina kumira zvakanaka.
Okay.
We were 6 in a family, and it was not easy for our parents to give us what is enough in terms of food, in terms of pekugara, and all the stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
Semataura maita kuti zvakaoma.
Yes.
Muchimbonoita maricho kuti zvinhu zvibatane.
Yes.
When you were going to school, maikwanisa kuenda kuchikoro every day here, uyezve distance yepamba muchienda kuchikoro muri kuprimary uko yange kamira sei? Pamaenda noita maricho aya maizokwanisa kuwana mari yekutenga mauniform nezvemabhuku zvakakwana here kana kuti pane zvaizoshotawo here and there?
Tingatoti pane zvaizotowanika here because kushota ndokwanga kagara kuripo.
Okay.
I think on average the distance yekubva pamba for primary level, I think it was around 10 to 12 km. And after the time kwamunonochera mvura chaiyo kwaitoita zvokumukirwa, ma new areas vanhu vakakura vana Gokwe, sometimes mvura yanga isingawanikwi zviri nyore, and mai kunofanira kutomukira kumvura nenguva dzekuma 4 am munosiya macherera mai mvura, and mvura yamachera iyai manje you cannot use it for bathing. Then you have to go through the river. Taishandisa kune nzizi mwe rinonzi ume ndokwamaenda unogeza iko kuenda iko. Saka sometimes through that one, like your question you said, would you be able to attend school every day? The answer is no. Because sometimes you go late, and my teachers, they don't probably not know kuti background dzevana dzakamira sei, and the world was not as exposed as we are now. My teachers would just take vana as they come at school, so you could not attend schools. And I remember grade 6, grade 7, zviya zvokuti vana vanowanda, I don't know if you're exposed to it, kuti mwana anotinyepera kuti aenda kupi, aenda kuchikoro, because 1 pamwe abva kumba ane nzara, 2 apfura achigeza, pamwe anonoka, pamwe health issue. So you'd find out kuti out of whatever 45 days mfana kupinda mwana, you'd probably go half the days. So it wasn't easy, and I recall I've never put on a uniform iri complete. Zviya zvokuti unenge unatengerwa uniform nechi, and area dzatakakurira manje vanhu vaichesa, vabereki vaichesa kurima cotton. but varima kotoni iyai it's setup yekuti kuti mubereki azotengera vana vanga vari vabereki vashoma shoma vaikwanisa kuti arimawo kotoni iyai unotengera vana mauniforms nechiyobhadhira vana maschool fees vaikona kuti ngonda mapedza kurima kotoni ngoma ndiyo isu taitozivana netsoka kuti uyu ndiyaningi uyu aenda uyu asati aenda
maiziva netsoka because mamusikapfeke boots.
I can't remember ndipfeka boots kuprimary.
Muchienda. All right. Interesting mataura kuti zveni mvura yamaichera makuseni yamuchinosiya kumba isiyo yamaishandisa muchigeza kuti muende kuchikoro. You'd have to pass through the river kuti munogeza hanti muende kuchikoro. Saka maitakura matauro yenyu zvese
kugeza akusi kwetauro kwatiri kutaura. Sometimes kana sipo yacho panenge pastorina. Sometimes pane pastorina but you just try to make ends meet zvokuti kuchikoro uratidze kuti uri mwana. Imagine mwana weprimary from grade 1 to grade 700 even yakamupa tauro nechiye sometimes zvazvitoripo saka maiti mukangomaiwa kakuguraiwo kapiske sipo ndokaonoisawo mukabhegi kako and not bag taitakura mabhuku edu ari mumaplastic bags. You would find out kuti ototora plastic bag wocheka ndoro wotoisa mabhuks ako. Saka it wasn't easy.
Okay. When you go to school, Matarat Maifamba about 10 kilometers, 10 to 12 kilometers to go to school. So in total, maybe about 20 to 22 kilometers in total.
To and from, yes.
To and from, all right. Kanama kudzoka kuchikoro. Now I'm picturing what you're saying. Apana lunchbox sekta
apana kana matowa nawo pekuti pamumaiwa ita mangai chibagi chiachi pamwaisa muka plastic here and there. But zvaitoshota kumba kwacho kwauri kubva. Zvokuti even mabhodhi yedu chaiwo watingoratidza kuti munhu uyo ndomadhizi kuti you can pick kuti munhu anenge ane kwashi hakuna munhu aikwanisa kupika bhonzo remunhu kuti munhu achareba here kana kuti achaita sei.
Okay. All right. And looking at that, I know you might not have a vivid memory of how you felt at the time. Apana vamaiona kuchikoro vaiwana zvinhu here mobva mazvikompia neivavo muchiti ko uyu zvavo zvinenge zviri nani sei kwedu sei kusina asi tinobva kunzvimbo imwe chete.
You know, one thing I think God has inserted in people. There are certain people who tend to become comfortable with the life they have. I don't know how. And at some point kana uri mwana mudikika haukwanisi even kujaja vabereki vako kuti they can do enough. But izvo tauro zvinotakura kuti no, this is not the way yaunokwanisa kureza mwana wako. That's why munhu unokwanisa kuti udzira mwana wako tsitsi umuendesa kuchikoro woita sei. Then not every parent but some parents would just ignore. Saka that feeling yekuti maybe pane kakushungurudzika wanga usingainzwa ingobvunza ndo zvirichi zviri normal. Unogeza mvura inotonhora ende kumberi kuya kuti aona wageza sei mafuta wadii anongozoona watodii futi watodzoka ende waitonzi uya akangwara uya anodai. But now kana wakuzviba mafeeling ozapane pekuti ukapfuura a certain phase unotanga kuva emotional after, not during that time. Okay. So now I can picture and say no, I can't do this to my kids. I know there's training, we want them to understand, but this is beyond.
Okay. Well, there you have it. Edson narrating how he grew up in a very hostile environment, walking approximately about 20 to 22 kilometers to and from school, having, no shoes, no complete uniform, nothing. Jaibata Nidzika completely. When we come back from the break, we want to find out when he passed his grade 7, was he able to advance to Form 1? Don't go anywhere. This is Against All Odds. Welcome back to Against All Odds. We get to continue with Edson's story as he was narrating of how he grew up. A family of 6 children with his parents moved to the Gokwe area where they were cotton farmers. But in that situation, nothing ever seemed complete. Now Edson, sekutaura kwa maita tisatenda kuchidimbu chedu. Mati zvoni makapasa grade 7 here. Mapasa grade 7 yenyu makakwanisa here kuendera mberi nechikoro kusvika ku Form 1.
Ndapasa grade 7, you go home and it's business as usual. Hapana ari kutaura nezvekuti mwana acho anodzidza kupi zvazviri kuitwa navabereki mazuva ano izvi. Kuti ndinotsvagira mwana wangu nzvimbo wotoita kundoda kupinda chikoro. So that was 1990. And I remember taenda kumba tiri kufudza mombe dzevanhu, tiri kuita maricho, tiri kurima nevabereki vedu. I finally asked my father kuti ndokumbirawo kuenda kuchikoro late 1995.
Saka murundudza kuti mapasa grade 7 nini. Hamuna mbowana kana mukana wekunzi wapasa chiendera mberi nechikoro.
Andina. I can't remember.
Saka makabva matotanga kuita maricho kuchirima cotton.
Maricho kuchirima cotton. Not inenge isiri yako rukurima as a family and sometimes unokwanisa kuti zvatawana mabhiro mairi. Vanonyatsoziva nzvimbo yandiri kutaura iyi. Vamwe vanhu vakatofa vachimwa mishonga vabereki muziva zvekuti baba inde pamunonwa mari yedoro. You know, it was like business as usual. And I think even my companies angariko by then, they didn't care on the last end of how the cotton impacted life. So kudai kuchinzi cotton yaifanira kubhadhara vanhu vemugokwe hakuna munhu angada asina kana tractor pamba pake. But actually who benefited probably with the companies who were buying cotton. But in terms of the end game, how it impacted the societies, it impacted badly.
Okay.
So we were some of the recipients because hakuna musha wangu asingarime cotton. And hakuna munhu anga asingawana an average of 3-4 bills, which was enough to pay even the school fees. But I remember kuti ndakasvika 1995 kusvika ndazokumbira kuti baba ndokumbirawo kuti ndiita sei ndiende kuchikoro.
Chakaita kuti mukumbire baba venyu kana kuti vabereki venyu kuti ndoda kuenda kuchikoro. This was now 1995 anti.
Yes.
Mapedza kunyora grade 7 yenyu 1990? 1990.
Yeah.
All right. Zvakadaro, what made you say I want to go back to school? Because this is 5 years zapfuraka. Grade 7 wanyora shamwari dzako dzakuenda nadzo kuchikoro dzato kumberi pakana dzakaendera mberi nechikoro tisingazive. But this is 5 years later. What made you say ndoda kudzokera kuchikoro, let me gather the courage for me to ask my parents?
Not even only shamwari, my brother wandaitira naye akazofa akabayiwa ku South Africa, may so rest in peace. Haana kunge ane shungu dzaitova content kuti ndambonofudza mombe kwakati. But it was in me that I would say, no, this is not right. Imagine now, the problem is, you don't even see a television, don't even hear a radio. So you've got nothing to, but there's that feeling inside you, say, no, I don't think this is right. Then I had to request, and the nearest secondary school was around 40 k's. 40 k's, hakuna chokufambisa, hamuna matransport, hakuna chi. Varikuenda ikoko vanoenda netsoka. So chakazondipa kungofunga undiendeko. You know, I think we are born differently. I'm second born from my mother. And I said, no, I should go. Hanzvadzi yangu anga kutoshanda house girl. Mukoma wangu anga kufudza mombe. Then ndandava inine vanina vangu tripamba. But I wasn't content with that. I would still feel that there's a gap. So I requested, ndakumbira baba wangu akati alright, ndinotsvaga nzvimbo kwacho. Then I had to go. You walk netsoka unotsvaga nzvimbo iya. Baba nzvimbo ndaita sei ndaiwana. Fortunately, and this is now 6 years later. I am now have to go and join vana vakaberekwa ndichitanga grade 1. You know the challenge. Ndadaro ndo pandakadzokera paya baba ndawana nzvimbo ndoita sei saka school fees utotsvaka mba ungaita mari chokuti wane mari. But uniform ndikati vanoda ma navy blues ma shorts ma light blue shirt. So no tora trouser rangu. I remember nitora trouser baba wangu ranga riri navy blue. Ndibva ndaenda kunotsvaka pana tailor kuti vamune ma local tailors. Ndibva ndisonera ma shorts. One yanga ichifita, imwe yanga ikati mbamba. That was my first uniform. And then ndakanotanga school. I remember mwana sekuru wangu vachitozvarwa. Ini ndichitanga ndiri grade 7 vachitozvarwa. Pandakauya vanhu vaya vanga I think they were 6 years younger than me. But now we are now going to join ava. Apa unenge uri munhu anenge achitiradza body kuti munhu aita sei akura. And at the same time you are also disadvantaged. So the combination yekuti body yako yakura anditya apa zvawakapfeka zvacho zviri tattered, it's easy for you kuti ushorwe, it's easy for you. Saka unenge wangoita zvimwe zvazvo unge uri bully unge chichi because utora kumanage situation iripo. Zvafana kuti uri kutamba nevana vadiki vane vachi, it's easy for you kuti vakuprovoke and all the stuff. So yes, it affected me because emotionally I was someone was sitting, but people will not understand why. But because of that age difference where uri kutamba nemwana akaberekwa achitanga grade 1, imagine.
So that means by the time you started your Form 1, you were about 17 years.
Yes.
And munotanga nevana vane 13
years.
Obviously the age difference, the age gap itoripo yanga itori. Yeah.
And ivo kwavari vanachiona success story because ivo noita ngo munhu abva kuhondo isu takakura muna 1984 zvakachiona painzi vana mai vedu ngavaende vanotanga kudzidza. Inongotoreplica the same situation yekuti pane vanhu vakanodzidza nevana vaitiswa those who know what I'm talking about. Vabereki vaidonzi chitanga kudzidza kuma for vana vatisimisa. It was almost the kind of situation. But vanhu pamwe vakasangadzonzisa kuti what is the age difference?
Okay.
Yeah, but
From how you're narrating your story, I can
Yeah.
actually tell that you really had a passion for school
Of
and you
course.
wanted to succeed. You wanted
Exactly.
to get out of this hole that you were in. You wanted
Yes.
to see something better. You wanted to experience
Yes.
something better,
Yeah.
to experience the world in a different sense.
Yes.
Did you manage to get to Form 4?
Yes, I managed.
Did you pass your O-level?
Yes, I did. I passed my O-level. I came out with 9 subjects, with the 4 Bs, 2 As, I think, and I think 2 Cs. Yeah.
And mapasa kudaro.
Yeah. Ndapasa
Now I'm sure you had that excitement to say ndakadzokera 6-7 years later kuchikoro, but still I'm now at a success point. I'm going to go further. Makaendera mberi nechikoro.
ndapedza form 4 pandakanotora my exams instead yekuti ndifare, I also become sad because I realized andina munhu anokwanisa kuti todi. And you know the sad story, vana vadiki futi vaiva ndinavo handiti someone ari kuti ndiri kuenda kunyamuroro, hai someone ari kuti ndiri kuenda kufletcher. And I remember some of my colleagues. I remember one muataidzisa naye, he was a pilot at Thornhill. Vakaenda form 4 yava vakabva tongoenda. So I could see all my effort yandakaita paform 4 ka worthless. And I have to go back kumusha kunorima cotton. Because hapana munhu ari kutaura nezvekuti munhu yangaenda kupi, despite the fact yekuti unenge une probably even my relatives anotoziva kuti kana munhu adai anofanira kuita zvakati. So you know that kind of thing. So ndakatofila kuti adai ndatofaila ka, and then sina something chekublame kuti ndimbonotsvaka something because I don't know where to start. I don't know how to go.
So pasa form 4 matora maresults
Ndatodzokera
kumba kunodzokera kuita mari icho
kunorima. Now ndava pane second level yekuti maybe ndikarima ndikatodai so in 2-3 years ndororawo mudzimai wangu ndoita sei, because uko kutaundi. But there is this half feeling yekuti but I think I can do better. Ndomapasses kaanoita anogona kuti munaende college aite teaching aite sei. That was my thinking, say maybe ndozowana nzvimbo yecollege teaching. Ndobva ndamborima 1-2 years ndobva ndawana my proceed.
Okay. All right. We're going to take a break here, and when we come back, we want to find out. He was still passionate, and he had that burning desire in his heart to pursue his education and become better in life. Did he succeed? Did he go further with his education? We'll be right back right here on Against All Odds. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Against All Odds. Now, Edson, just narrating a story. You can imagine, being 17 years and now you're going back to do your Form 1 at 17, joining younger students, the age difference, the peer pressure. He said that sometimes you'd even get to the point of bullying them because he was just trying to fit in, and yet it wasn't really gelling well. However, despite that, he managed to move forward and passed his O-level. Unfortunately, that happiness, or the success story that he thought he had achieved, was short-lived. He was now sad because he knew there was no way he was going to further his education. It was most probably going back kunorima cotton, kunoita maricho, and he still wanted to pursue his education, but it wasn't the case as he thought it would be. Edson, I can see as you're narrating your story the passion that is there. I'm sure in your family, siblings, I want to get out of this. Yes, I want to break this cycle. I don't want to keep on, being in this cycle. Then what happens? I'm sure at that age, mama 20 something, yes. Makatasa munharaunda yamaigara. You'd see most probably your peers, vatone vakadzi, vatone vana, but imimi amusikuda kuenda ikoko.
Even dating was even a challenge. Because I even vasikana ndaigona kudana nemusikana wotofunga kuti ndamachi wandoti I don't think I'm ready.
Maida zvekuenda kuchikoro.
I could see kuti it's only me who should relieve this pressure.
Your passion for wanting to go back to school, was it pushed by the fact that you wanted to change the narrative, for your children, for your future? Was it about money? What was it about?
I had this feeling that if we continue with this trajectory, and I know my brother had failed, my sisters, my young sisters had failed, and I took up to myself to say I'm the only man standing now. If anything is going to come as a change, it's going to come from me. I remember even I couldn't take it because of how my father was using beer. So there's things which were saying this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong at a very tender age. And it gave me that pressure yekuti ndofanira kuti ndichinje. Saka ndabva ipapo ndakazongopushawo ndokuuya kune mumwe mukoma wangu akazoshayika anga agara kuEpwetu. That's when I started coming to Harare. Ndagara kuEpwetu ndobva ndazowanawo katemporary job kekushanda. But still the passion yekuti ndiende kuchikoro yanga iripo.
Temporary job yamakashanda inge iri yechi?
Yanga iri yekuma industry kuyeku Unyani paper sec vanga vachigadzira mapapers. So we're using kutakura masaga. But then no one would ask you whether we've got 5 O levels or what. Then after that, just to quicken, ndakazowana rimwe basa rekuva stores click. And then ndakaenda ku, as if it's not enough. Paidiwa ma stores click ipa paidiwa munhu ane ma A levels. And I was the only person angane O level. Then it happened, this lady angari reception. No, let's try this guy. Tingompa opportunity. Then I had to go, then we were 15. But fortunately, I became first. Pa kuselect against vanhu vangane va A level. Ndopa ndakandishanda ipapo ndopa ndakanzi I think you should do a program iri supply chain related. But I didn't have O levels. Then I started doing my CIPS program. After that, but still that mentality yekunzi asina degree hana kufunda. And I know degree rider A level. That's when I then now pursued and started to enroll with University of South Africa, who gave me a bridging course, which is an advanced level in nature. Then I bridged and started my Bachelor of Commerce in Transport and Logistics. And I managed to finish. And then now I start now to fit to say, this is what they call a degree. This is what we call the diploma. And now through that, opportunity started opening. There's time where I was applying for jobs. And from then, jobs started hunting me. So I ought to be head-handed. Up to then I later said, okay, I've done a UK course. Let me do a regional course, which is South Africa, University of South Africa. And I wanted to ice my cake with the supply chain, Master of Science Supply Chain, University of Chinoi. And very soon I was trying to enroll for my doctorate degree. But by then now, I had now assumed bigger roles. I've been a group procurement head for, which is the largest gold producer then here in Zimbabwe.
So you ended up with a success story,
yeah,
despite coming from a background that was quite difficult.
Yeah, it's a
you ended up with a success story. I guess it was your hunger that pushed you to want to keep on, climbing the ladder.
Yeah, and you start to see confidence coming out. Say, I can do it.
You're a family man now?
Yeah, I'm a family man now.
And you have your own children?
I have my own children.
What do you, as a parent now, what do you wish for your children? Looking at your own story, where you came from. Looking at, when we look at our parents, we always say, I wish they'd done this. But we also have a chance to change certain things for our own children. And the cycle keeps going on and on. For you, what do you say as a parent you'd want to do for your children? And what would you want to encourage other parents out there? So is life.
What
would you want to say? What words of encouragement would you want to give?
One thing I cannot just put away is that bad history. Bad history can be good. I can imagine now the way I respect life, the way I value life, the way I understand even Munagainzara. Because I remember I don't know if you know Mtuvi. So it helped me, because if I didn't have that history, probably I would be a very careless person. But now, because I understand that, I still feel that every parent, at one point, we should try to expose vana vedu. Tingati controlled exposure. Kuti vana ngavamboziva kuti even vamborara vasina kudya mafuta, so that they understand andina mari yekuchikoro. People understand. Even in leadership, mabasa. Mwana kunatadza kutonzisa kuti munhu akati no ndarara nenzara zvinorevei kuti no kana usingati basa regedza. But ane background yekuziva practical no, this thing can happen. Otherwise the world would be better if parents also try to expose vana vavo kuti ngavadzidze kuti kunoshayiwa. Because vana vedu futi tikada kuvakava, because that history yandakaita irini inogona kutondikangaza zvekuti vana vangu handidi kuti vaone zvimwe zvinhu.
You can overprotect them as well.
But thank God vana vangu inini every Saturday vanenge vari kufamba. Mukomana kana musikana anenge akapfeka overalls nemajombo. I want them to, they can't taste fully the way I go through, but they need to have an appreciation. I even take them back kunoona pandaifamba netsoka. Now they drive.
So for you, it's all about a controlled environment where you're not being too overprotective, but at the same time exposing them to the harsh realities of life.
Yes, because you will be lucky to be there with them. What if you are not there? The realities will come. and then they'll have to face the rhythm.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Edson, for sharing your story with us. We definitely appreciate it. It's
Yeah.
definitely inspiring.
Yeah.
And your success story may to inspire others as well.
It has been my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Definitely appreciate it.
Thank you.
The struggles that you may face as you go through life can actually build you to become a better person. And that's what life is all about. Sometimes we may be finding ourselves in the puddle of mud, but tell you what, you can get up and you can become successful. It's your story. You can shape it. That's what we're all about right here on Against All Odds, showcasing stories that can inspire you. Until next time, my name is Rachel Mwenyeheli. This is Against All Odds.